Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our very first Innovation Day in Telefónica. My name is Irene Gomez, and I am Telefónica Connector's Open Innovation Director. And together with David, we're going to guide you through this exciting day for us.
That's right, Irene. For those of you who don't know me, my name is David Del Val, and I head the team in core innovation area. As Irene said, we're going to accompany you throughout this event that has turned out into a virtual format, far more innovative. Is going to be completely different and, of course, virtual the whole time. The goal here is to give you how important innovation is for Telefónica's growth.
That's right. So during the presentation today, we'll be sharing with you all of the latest developments in innovation, and we'll do it, though, without forgetting everything that's been done up to now.
It's going to be a bit like taking a journey through time.
Yes, that's right, because we will be remembering our past, we'll be navigating through the present, of course, we're looking ahead to the future, and it'll be a journey of an hour and a half of presentations where you'll be able to discover how innovation has been a key pillar in Telefónica's evolution.
And after these presentations, we'll have about 5 breakout sessions, about a half hour, taking place simultaneously, and we're going to drill down on each of them in the different subjects, which I think are very interesting for you. But don't worry, if you miss any of them, you can then go to the web and see them. They'll be recorded.
So the only thing left for us to do now is for you to come with us on this exciting journey starting now.
Yes, now we definitely will finish around 6 o'clock. And we're going to start by going back in the past to see the legacy of Telefónica's innovation in all these years. And to do that, we're going to invite someone who knows a lot about innovation, a lot about Telefónica, as a Chief Digital Consumer Officer, Chema.
Hola, amigos.
Hello, everyone, friends. Thank you for joining us this afternoon in this event. Thanks for my colleagues for giving me the opportunity to open the session with this keynote. Now, I wanted to start by talking about something that for us is very important, and that's for you to understand how difficult it is to innovate. When you create something, it's so difficult to explain and to make people understand what it is that you're doing. And Steve Jobs said that the only way to join points, to connect points, was by looking backward. There's no way you can do it by looking forward. So I wanted to look at the history of this company, of innovation in this company, and kick off this event by starting from the very beginning of this company, when it was born, 1924, almost 100 years ago. A private company was set up, Telefónica, was registered to take communications to people and to companies through the use of the phone. But we have to wait till 1990 when we launched Tesis, the first PSPDN network in the world to start using data. Back then, Telefónica used its network to enable companies to transfer information in packets, data packets. Then everything sped up. In 1994, we launched mobile services, and then in 1995, Infovia, a milestone for this company, when it still wasn't too clear that telecom companies would be the internet service providers. Telefónica decided to innovate and commit to that by creating Infovia, not just in an innovating way from a technological point of view, but also through a sales strategy that was quite disruptive back then. Anyone could then make a phone call, and connect to the internet by dialing 055, and you can connect to internet by just costing the same as a local telephone call. And that, for me as a student, opened a world of opportunities. I could access internet at the cost of a local phone call. So the first thing I did when I landed in Telefónica was to look for the people that launched Infovia and told them my experience, what that meant to me, people like myself and all my friends. In our future, because we could access all the content available in internet. In 1999, broadband was introduced based on ADSL. That was a new revolution. Back then, I was 24, and I had just started my company with my friend. We started Informática 64, and broadband enabled us to be connected to internet, develop internet services, and be able to evolve our business, develop it. Without that, our company would have never been able to do what it did and grow. Then Telefónica continues to evolve. In 2003, it launched Imagenio, the video platform, which led to today is the core of our business proposition and services to households, which is Movistar Plus, paid TV, that we're also taking to Brazil, Germany, and other countries in Latin America. So my life here at Telefónica is very similar. I set up my company, as I said, in 1999, Informática 64. I was another entrepreneur. I was 24. I wanted to just be an entrepreneur. And in 2012, I joined one of the most transforming projects of Telefónica, Wayra, which Telefónica just launched in 2011. They launched a project to bring in innovation, to grow and take things further. Because internally, innovation was working well, but the world outside Telefónica has sped up. So they created Wayra to connect all startups. And that's where I landed in February 2012 to launch a program called Talentum, which is still enforced in the company. And the idea was to attract all those young university students, people with bright ideas and innovative, to bring them in the company, but also in startups that are working with us. So I worked there for about a year and a half. Then I was taken into one of the business innovation projects that I was very fortunate to participate in, and that's called 11 Paths. As in 2013, we wanted to develop a new business in cybersecurity, IT security, by joining together three key components, which makes innovation successful by bringing in external innovation, like the case of my small startup, Informática 64, the core innovation platforms that we had. We had different platforms like Mobile Connect, Sandas, which became part of the offering, and then the full commercial sales force of Telefónica. It made 11 Paths by blinking all three points, became the company that it is today, with a billing of 500 billion across the world. So Telefónica decided to change things in 2019 and decided to launch what was the core for us, which is data-driven company, which is the fourth platform. Back then, Telefónica created the Chief Data Officer business unit, which I led for 4 years. And what we did there was to ensure that magic to continue, that internal innovation, new ideas, transforming ideas, linked up with startups, started to get the most of the resources and power of Telefónica. And last year, in 2019, just a year ago, Telefónica decided to take innovation one step further by transforming all the platforms through which our customers interact, by creating the digital consumer business unit, where it's not only the product business units as well, also innovation. Okay, to make sure that all that magic of linking up those three components works smoothly. Now this, we've seen it in the course of our history many times. We have we have success stories and also some failures, of course. When you're innovating, that's what happens. There's success stories and failures. But the reason why something becomes successful is because you've gone through it many times. I talked about 11 Paths, where we joined Informática 64 with platform, with Mobile Connect or Sandas, with the full power of Telefónica behind it in commercial side. But in IoT, we did the same thing. In 2010, Telefónica committed to that. It wasn't even called IoT then. It was called machine to machine. And the innovation teams created a platform, the Kai platform, which today is a core of the services that we're marketing at Telefónica Tech. The same thing happened when we created Luca in 2016. As I said, Telefónica decided to be a data-driven company by developing a data-centric platform and putting all the decision-making data in that platform, and created a company called Luca, which its aim is to help customers go through this transformation process. We're very lucky because the internal innovation team had already back then, developed two platforms, Smart Steps and Smart Digits, which are still key components of our own decision-making strategy and the services that we provide to our customers. But if we look now at the end users, households, not only did we have the Imagenia platform in 2013, which allowed us to develop this pay TV platform, but also we decided to radically change the way we addressed households. So it wasn't only ADSL with access to internet, as I said in my previous story. That was in 1999. We became a company that provided our customers with intelligent connectivity within the household, within their homes. We became the first company that provided wireless Wi-Fi connectivity for households. That was done thanks to the internal teams that we have, but also investing in a startup called Q Antenna. And we've been working in the development of chips to be able to develop the most powerful smart Wi-Fi network that we have in Spain and in Latin America. We have up to 8 million households connected through our Wi-Fi platforms, and has enabled us to take things one step further, to transform that platform to see internet contents and create a platform of digital services for homes. Using the video platform and based on connectivity, we created Aura, our digital assistance, which to help our customers use voice and all those platforms. And we continue to innovate. Now we're talking about television experimental television, where customers can interact with television, where you can manage their services through television. They integrate all the security platforms. Now, this would not have been possible without linking up those three steps: internal innovation, the business power of a company like Telefónica, and entrepreneurs, the world of startups. And of course, that we want to speed up, making sure that it goes even faster. And of course, we'll make mistakes, we'll have failures, and it'll be complicated to go forward. But to tell these success stories, we have to look back in history. And that's why we decided to create within Wayra. We have more than 500 startups in which we've invested. We're managing this huge portfolio. We're taking technologies from our startups to our customers and to the core services that we're providing and offering. We have different initiatives here. One of them will be Wayra X or Wayra Builder. My colleagues will tell you about that. And another one is Telefónica Tech Ventures. We selected those companies that are the best match with the commercial operations of the company and take them one step further. That's why we created our first Telefónica Tech Venture powered by 11 Paths, where we selected all these companies where we've been working for them for years, helping them grow, ensuring they can reach out to the customer. Their products are enjoyed by Telefónica customers, and help them take them one step further so they transform the way they grow and they operate within the digital world. And we'll keep doing that. I don't know if all of them will be successful or if some of them will flop, but to understand the present, we definitely need to look at the past. So I'll leave you now with David and Irene so they can carry on with this event. Thank you.
Pues muchísimas gracias.
Well, thanks so much, Chema. A lot of history, a lot of innovation in that journey. But now it's time for us to talk about the present. I think at times of great uncertainty, like the current times, perhaps the need for innovation is much more relevant. In fact, you'll see during today's talks how this situation has actually turned into an opportunity for us to reinvent ourselves, so to actually unlock our best innovative talent and spirit, that spirit and that talent that was there in Telefónica's initial pioneers who were seeking unexplored areas and were taking so many risks. That is the way we understand and live innovation.
Exactly, and that innovative spirit would not exist if we didn't know how to tackle risks. Those of us working in innovation, we move in spaces with a lot of uncertainty, but we like to provide solutions to customer problems. And working out that balance between results, risk, and uncertainty is what really defines us. These results, of course, we want to do that to improve the company's, Telefónica's revenues, but we also need to make the world more human by connecting people's lives. That's a social commitment that Telefónica has with the rest of society. To do that, it's very important that Telefónica can serve as a guide to work out all these changes. There's a lot of changes going on now.
Yes, that's right. And in fact, I should tell you that Telefónica has developed and is developing its innovation under different formulas. In fact, we have chosen for this very first Innovation Day to bring you tangible projects that are already a reality from the core innovation area led by David. What they're doing there is using strategic assets for that innovation. Those assets that, because they're so relevant or because they're technologically complex, cannot be opened up to third parties. I'm talking about our networks, our data, our platforms.
On the other hand, in open innovation headed by Irene, the focus is on bringing all the innovation happening outside the company and amplifying it with the fantastic commercial power that we have.
And whether it's core or open innovation, it doesn't matter what it's called. We have the same purpose, and that is to create new spaces and opportunities for growth and transformation for the company. I think the best thing for us to do is talk through the details, and I'll give you David, to leave you in his good hands. You're going to find out all about the developments in core innovation. So the stage is all yours, David.
Thank you very much, Irene. As she was just saying, at core innovation, we innovate on Telefónica's assets. And what are we talking about here? Well, the telecom network, customer data, which of course we handle with full privacy, or the digital platforms such as the video, home platforms, and others. These assets differentiates us as a company. It's a fantastic platform to innovate. Not everyone has this. For example, think about the home platforms. We have Movistar Plus, Movistar Home. We have the applications. And based on these platforms, it's very easy to innovate because once you get an idea, it's very easy to roll it out, to implement it. And that gives us a lot of power. However, of everything we do, there are three things I want to talk about today. First, the new reality of how, through innovation, we faced the pandemic. This is 2020. We have to talk about the pandemic. Second is programmable connectivity, what we're doing in programmable connectivity, which is very interesting. And finally, everything we're doing in digital marketing in the era of privacy. Let me start off with the new normal. This year has been a fantastic opportunity. It was full of uncertainty for all of us, and we've had to respond with a lot of agility. The pandemic has changed the reality, our normal, and we had to react to that. And Telefónica did that very quickly. Internet continued to work perfectly well, even in the toughest months. At innovation, we focus on the opportunities that could lie behind the pandemic. For example, the scientific team. We're working with mobility models to improve the models that epidemiologists were using to determine the propagation of the virus. So we take all the information from the mobile network, we put that into AI, and we combine that with the epidemiology models, and we can determine or predict how the virus is going to propagate based on people's movement. These models worked out quite precisely, and our forecasts or predictions turned out to be right as all the confinement measures were implemented, and we saw the results in May, June. Moreover, we also focus on how to ensure that Movistar's machinery can continue to work. Its platforms could remain up and running in a country which was basically working at home. Everyone was confined. The best example of that is a tool which is making today's transmission possible, which helped Movistar Plus to continue to produce its programs. We created this tool. It's called Digital Studio, and it helped Movistar Plus be able to carry out a live program. It was a miracle with the hosts, guests, producers, everyone from home. But instead of me telling you about it, I'll give the floor to Sergio Oslé, the head of marketing and head of marketing and product and and Head of Marketing Plus. You, Sergio.
David, hola, hola.
Hello, David. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me to your Innovation Day. It's an honor to be here today. I remember other sessions we've had in Tres Cantos. I'm sorry that we can't do this like that. But anyways, with such fantastic tools as this, you can hardly tell the difference. We all have to get used to using these type of tools and not necessarily have to travel to specific sites. So since it's Innovation Day, of course, the best thing is to talk about the importance of innovation for Movistar Plus. For us, it's critical as users and how this is revolutionizing audiovisuals and new platforms, demanding customers, increasingly more demanding. From a production point of view, Digital Studio tool was critical. It was key. We had to face a very difficult decision. How do we continue broadcasting our programs in an environment where physical contact was impossible? And we reacted very quickly thanks to the fantastic teams that we have at Movistar Plus, but also Telefónica teams as a whole by using these sort of tools. In the case of Leitmotiv, I think it is the only late night show on a daily basis that did not stop one single broadcast every day. So probably the best thing is just listening to me. I'm a pretty bored person, and I don't produce television. Obviously, people with a lot more talent than myself do that. I would like to give the floor to Andreu Buenafuente, who's the protagonist. And of course, he's a legend in Spanish television and won the National Television Award, but also he's a person that has innovation in his DNA. And as I said, he's spearheaded the use of tools such as Digital Studio. He enjoyed it, so I'd like to give him the floor, and he can tell you better than anybody else.
Hi, Sergio. How are you? Hi, boss, and thank you so much for your support. I'd like to say that here and now because we can't see each other very much anymore, can we? And thank you very much for always supporting our program. The Digital Studio experience, well, you can imagine what it's been like. I have to highlight to you that it's been the most exciting thing that's happened in the program during lockdown. The most exciting thing I've ever had to do as a professional, and I say this over and over again, I never get tired of saying it. I don't think I'm exaggerating, because it's something that I really feel, and I think that I'm always very sincere and honest, and never before in the 30 years that I've been a professional had I ever made a program from home. I hadn't, and I don't think anybody had. But in my case, it was something so exceptional. It was something so exciting. It was amazing. All of us were keen to do it. We saw that there was a commitment there, and we had the challenge that we'd impose ourselves. But we need the technology to do it, and all of us were using the Digital Studio, and it's all of its know-how. But there we were it was all live and it was all real, and we started to use all of the highly professional, demanding components, and we had the feeling that all of us were learning every single minute that went by. It was a common sort of networking endeavor. I'd never done that before, and this is where we did the program before, and everything stopped. Everything just stopped, and I really admired Digital Studio the way they were. It was always keep calm. Everything's going really badly, but don't worry. We'll just leave. Come back in again, we'll switch off, come back in, and everything went back to normal again. It was absolutely wonderful. And we made 50 programs like that. And I'd also like to underscore today for you something that I need to be honest about this. I got it was a pleasure. I got an award. It was a great honor. I'm not boasting about this. I was awarded the National Television Award. And the very first thing that I thought when I was given it, I think it was my father's feeling that came out. This is a prize, an award for me, for my career, but it's also for the whole team. I mean, I have lots of good ideas and good intentions, but I need people to put them through it with me. And I think Digital Studio is all part of that equation too, because that award, that acknowledgement, above all, was focused on the last section of my professional career and the thrust there that we had. Because a lot of people could deserve this award, but mainly it was all about the fact that we were making programs from home. So I'd like to acknowledge and thank Digital Studio for their support. They allowed us to do something that actually culminated in that award. It was all really lovely. It was tough though, and we're still there on the studio, but we're always waiting to see what's going to happen. In fact, I've gone off and bought a new PC just in case. There's a lot still to be done. I think there are lots of communication concepts that are changing very quickly. What is important now is fast, fresh communication, live, that could be done from anywhere. That would be an amazing step forward. If I could just use my PC, use that great tool like the one you give me, in enhanced form, and I could just set up wherever. I could just plug in my lights and make a program, a TV program, even better than ones that we make it from home. And that would be the challenge. Just putting a bit of pressure on you there. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for asking us to speak here in the event. And back to David Del Val.
Bueno, pues.
Thank you, Andrea, for your for sharing with us that award that you got after 30 years of professional career. And again, thank you for entertaining all of us in such a difficult moment. And naturally, we take that gauntlet and we continue to innovate on how to blend software with production and all the new ideas that are pouring in for television. Now, on entertainment, another big field that we've come across throughout confinement and realize that we have a lot of innovation is actually education. Not education the way we've seen it to date, but education combined with entertainment. I don't know how to get it, edutainment, as they call it in Anglo-Saxon countries. This year we've learned that education doesn't have to be presential. But I think we've also learned that education doesn't have to be boring. And that's precisely the question that we considered some time ago. What happens if we take content, and educational content, and we combine it with Movie Star Plus, our entertainment platform? And this is what we came up with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got that new thing that you might wanna hear. That real exclusive, something for your ear. I got that thing you want, I got that thing you need. I got that thing you want, yeah, you should come with me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 let me see you now. If you got the move, we got the groove. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on, yeah, yeah. Let me see you now. We got the groove. We gon' make your body move. I got that new thing that you might wanna hear. That real exclusive, something for you here. I got that thing you want. I got that thing you need. Yes, I do. I got that thing you want. Yeah, you should come with me.
Bueno, pues.
Well, how interesting, and can't wait for December to come when we'll be launching Movistar Campus. Let's move on to the next block I wanted to talk about. This is about the programmable networks. Now, if you think about it, telecom networks it's probably the most complex systems that the humans have developed. Deploy a fiber optic network and a 5G and get it to work anywhere is so complicated but once that's done, they're not very flexible, very difficult to change the network. It takes years before that happens. But what happens if we can make these networks to become programmable? Imagine we can adapt the speed, the quality of the network to the customer needs at any single moment. Well, that's precisely what we're working on with programmable networks. So I'm going to show you a number of examples of what this technology is good for. And I would like to start with a project we call Ariana. Ariana is the following. What we do is we have sensors in all our networks, and we get millions of data on how they're performing on a real-time basis. Now, all that information goes into an algorithm of artificial intelligence, and lets us know if the network is performing normally, or if there's any problems or issues, anything that might lead to big failure in one of today. So the algorithm detects these anomalies, and it's at that moment that we can step in and act upon it to make sure this doesn't happen. if we have a programmable network, then this whole action can be done automatically without humans stepping in. So imagine there's like a huge beast that starts feeling a little bit ill and then just cures itself. And this is one of the biggest examples, a very good example of what a programmable network is good for. There are many more. I think my favorite one is the one we're going to talk to you next. It's called Click and Filma. Click and Filma is Lucia Castellum who's going to talk to us about it. I think she's somewhere around here. Lucia, are you here?
Hi, David. How are you? I know that you and the other innovators that are with us today in this event, you're probably all waiting for a presentation of the project. But no, I could not resist doing this, and it's a magic trick.
But where are you? Is that like a production room?
No, actually, I'm in a video production mobile unit. Yeah, these are those lorries, those vans, those outside broadcast vans that you tend to see if there's a football match going on, and the TV stations use them when they have to cover outside events or football matches, as I was saying.
So is that where the producer sits in those seats?
Well, I'm on my own here. This is very empty, isn't it, today? But yeah, you're right. That you'd usually have your producer sitting there. You'd have camera operators who'd be out there outside the van, and you can see all of the screens. Behind me, you can see the audio and the video mixers. We've got servers. We've got the intercom to communicate with the camera operators out there. It's a whole world of hardware and other things. And outside of the van, we've got the connectivity to broadcast everything that is being recorded here inside. But anyway, apart from that, what about the trick? Are you ready for the magic trick?
Yes, of course.
Great. So repeat after me the magic words. Edge computing and programmable networks.
Computing, programmable networks.
Hey presto. As you can see, I'm now inside a mobile unit of the future. It's exactly the same one as you saw before, but we're now in the future. And behind me, what you can see just behind me, is a prototype. We've done this in innovation to actually perform exactly the same function as the whole new unit I was in before.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that small device there can do exactly the same thing we saw earlier?
That's absolutely right. In fact, we've already broadcast from here, a play actually in a theatre, and on top of that, it's not just that device, but all of the hardware you saw before in that mobile unit has been virtualized. It's all in virtual form now. And the Click and Filma project, what we wanted to do, the whole vision of the project, is all about virtualization and simplification of the lives of all of those people who tend to have to travel to cover outside broadcast events. We saw that before when we heard about the Digital Studio project with Andrea Bonafente, how some of this has already helped out by simplifying things for people in the studio. But together with our Telefónica marketing and Telefónica broadcasting services teams, we thought, what else can we do to simplify all of this?
So, as a producer, you could program all your networks, or what could you do?
Yes, you see, what we found was that the solution lay in innovating in connectivity. So how do we do it? Well, what we did was combine the simplification or the virtualization of all the hardware with edge computing to keep the high-end features there. What does that mean? It means that the calculation that you'd probably see before in the hardware in the mobile unit, we're taking it now to the edge of Telefónica's network, and that allows the operators to use it as if the operator was physically there. But you can do it from anywhere in Spain. And that's not all, but also innovating how to ensure that we have the high-quality connectivity for broadcasters and they can manage all of those high professional cameras when they need to.
So if I'm a producer, what do I have to do?
Well, our vision is if you have to go outside of the studio and cover an outside event, you just have to go into Telefónica's portal, you look at the characteristics of the event that you need, and that connectivity is going to be there ready for you just to plug in the cameras that you've got. You have to use, of course, the fiber outlet, the nearest one you've got to the event. So if you were a producer, I would say, okay, go into the portal, click, and film.
Very straightforward, Lucia. Thanks so much. Imagine what we're talking about here. In order to set up a complex event, such a television broadcasting, you just go to a website, you give it some parameters, and that's it. And it programs connectivity. The network adapts in a very pliable way to the specific requirements that you might have as a producer of a television program. So, yeah, Lucia, it was very good. Okay, let's move on to another example of what a programmable network can be and how you can use it as a consumer. Each and every one of us. And to do that, we're going to talk about gaming. As you know, gaming is a huge field. I'm sure a lot of you actually are gamers. And I want to tell you how we're going to use these networks to improve your gaming experience. But first, we have to let you know that gaming is undergoing a huge revolution. To date, to play the best games with the best graphics and top speed, we need to have specific consoles at home. And the consoles are still very important, or a very high quality PC. But what's happening in the next few years, these years, is that we don't need so much hardware, because now we got cloud gaming. What does this mean? Well, it means that the game is executed right at the edge of the cloud, and what we get is a video stream, and that's what you interact with. So you can use an old phone or a PC. You don't have a top hardware, because the network is going to make sure that everything works beautifully. So, and that's the key. How do we make that happen? Make sure that the network does that. Now, to do that, Cesar Hernandez is joining us today. He's going to explain with us, along with his team, what we're doing with programmable network for gaming. Cesar?
David.
Hi, David. Thank you very much. Hi to everyone there. We're delighted to be here today to speak to you. Well, as you know, Telefónica has always had excellent connectivity in its very DNA. And if you focus on Telefónica's homes, on our customers' homes, well, up to now, that cutting-edge feature is something that we've put into our latest generation maximum capacity, maximum capillarity fiber. We're doing it also through the latest generation routers. We are very simple management tools like smart Wi-Fi, and we're also using Descos to get that optimal video experience. So all of that's great and is very much appreciated, because we always make sure that this works. But we can't just stop there, can we? Because our customers today in their homes are already using so many more devices than before, and more those devices are using more and more demanding services. Just think about video conferencing and streaming or video services, which is really what we're all doing today, isn't it? And this is what we want to talk about today, gaming and cloud gaming in particular. So, well, what we wanted to show you today, and this is going to be very simple, it's all about new functionalities that we'll be releasing over smart Wi-Fi soon for gamers, and they can be activated with one click. And that's it, really. So we're going to get in touch straight away with some beta gamers who are out there. We'll discover the functionality with them. I believe Alvaro Campo is out there. He's one of our favorite beta gamers. You've got a little problem out there, have you? Let's see if we can help you.
Hi, Alvaro. Hi, Cesar. Well, I'm trying to play online with my friend Rafa, but it's impossible. I can't play online. I can't even talk to him through the console. I'll show you what I have on screen here. If I look at my console, it says that my type of net is moderate, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's really typical. So don't worry, no problem. It's one of the functionalities that we've tried to sort out just for all of you. Have you got the smart Wi-Fi application there? Can you open it up? And I'll show you very quickly what we'll have to do.
Okay, here it is.
That's perfect. Well, this is the device screen. Find the device that you're playing on. It's your console, isn't it? Yeah. Well, there it is. You can see a new section, which is all for gamers. You can see it.
Yes.
Well, that's a section where you'll be able to actually open up the service you're trying to use.
Got it. Yes, here you go.
Los activo.
So activate them.
Perfect. And now, you try again. You should be able to see that everything is being magically configured.
En tu consola.
Okay, let me see. Okay, connection. Checking connection.
Please let it work. Yes, please.
¿Vale? El tipo de net.
Great. Open. Very easy. Great. Okay, so let me see if I can play with Rafa. By the way, he was saying that lately he has a lot of problems back home. Actually, his parents' home. So maybe you can solve the problem.
Okay, well, we'll call him right now. Let's see what's up with him.
Stick around here playing.
That's fine, Alvaro. Hi, Rafa. How are you? Tell us what's wrong.
It's hard. Well, Here I am. My parents, I came to spend a few days, and I'm trying to play with xCloud and my mobile. I don't have a console here to play with that at all, but a lot of problems. I'll show you, see if you can give me a hand.
Okay.
You see, it's not working. I can't play this way.
Look at your health. It's about 0%, so that doesn't look too good, does it? I think if you can activate the gaming mode, which is another functionality that we've developed. Have you got smart Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi. Here it is. Okay, devices.
Well, find your mobile. So you're trying to play from your mobile, aren't you? So you've got mode of gaming there.
Okay. Let me click on that.
You should see the services there. You should see what to do. This is it. Yes, it says.
The experience is irregular. Oh, look, it says mode of gaming. I'm going to click on that. So activate. Is that right?
Eso es.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. It says activate. I guess I have to test it again.
Yeah, of course. Try to see what works best. Oh, there you go. Have a look at that indicator, the health indicator. I don't know what the game's like, but look at the indicator. It's 100% now.
Va muchísimo mejor.
Oh, it's much better than before. Let me fire here.
Well, off you go. Enjoy the game with your gun there, and then play with Alvaro as well. So before going back to you, David, let me show a little video that we prepared. It's to show you how we've imagined this service as we move into the future, how it evolves, and how you can see it in the final services of the gamers themselves. So that's all from us. Have a look at the video, and then back to you, David. Thank you.
Bueno, pues
Okay, you've seen how a programmable network can help gamers. I'm sure a lot of gamers are familiar with these problems. So the ports you opened, that Alvaro did from the smart Wi-Fi application, the Telefónica product, and we've seen how sometimes we don't have adequate priority for gaming in the house. You can also do that from smart Wi-Fi. And in the last video, we saw the future, how the application of the game itself, we can control the network. So, of course, if you say third party, you can also do it Movistar Plus. In fact, from any application where it makes sense for gamers to access. Well, let's move on then to the next block, the last one, where I want to talk to you about digital marketing in privacy. In the era of privacy. There's a lot of ways to do marketing, but privacy is extremely important. How do we do it? How we play with both worlds? Let me show you a video that's going to show us what problem we're addressing here.
Los consumidores de Internet, el sistema publicitario y la economía global. Fácil. Todos sufrimos las consecuencias de la experiencia del Internet gratis, que en realidad está muy lejos de ser gratis. Hemos visto los monopolios que genera el negocio de la publicidad en Estados Unidos, por ejemplo. O cómo la carrera por recopilar nuestros datos para fines lucrativos sigue aumentando la preocupación en torno a la privacidad, por no hablar de la insatisfacción de los consumidores por sentirse un blanco fácil. Todo esto genera la necesidad urgente de devolverle el equilibrio a los datos, de encontrar el punto en el que el consumidor acceda a una experiencia personalizada, pero sin sentirse sobreanalizado. Pero, ¿cómo podemos nosotros hacer esto?
Bueno, pues precisamente es...
Well, that is precisely what data innovation team is working on. How do you provide ethical, innovating responses, solutions to some of the challenges that digital advertising has? Because, of course, on the one hand, we want our privacy to be respected. But, of course, companies and brands naturally want to present their brands and products to consumers. And as consumers, we also want to find out what's new, what's cooking. So we have to reach a balance between privacy and digital marketing, be able to do that in a more customized manner. There has to be a balance, ensuring that the data has value while protecting our legal privacy that all of us don't want to be undermined. Now, to do that, we have defined a suite of products, ad tech and martech, for technology for advertisers, which is based on a privacy-first approach. We design products with a lot of respect towards users, but these products are yielding spectacular results for advertisers. Now, to talk to us about this, we've invited one of our customers, the BBVA, and they're going to tell us about their experience in the pilot projects we've made with them and how now they're using this product. Cristina Villarroya, head of this field in BBVA, will tell us about her experience.
Pues las dos compañías, BBVA y Telefónica, tenían claro que tenían muchos puntos en común, ¿no? Y una de las cosas que querían trabajar era la innovación y pensaron que era una manera estupenda la de generar diferentes grupos de trabajo y arrancar con diferentes grupos de trabajo, ¿no? En el 2019 se creó el grupo de trabajo de marketing digital que yo lideraba y así empezó la relación con Movistar y con Telefónica. Desde el 2019 hemos trabajado juntos 7 campañas, que son bastantes campañas. Empezamos trabajando un poco la parte más dirigida a elevar la marca, que son las campañas de branding, donde nosotros queremos hablar de nuestras novedades, herramientas tecnológicas o hablar un poco de la marca. Y luego empezamos a trabajar en la parte más de performance, que es puro y duro venta, ¿no? Conseguir clientes o conseguir ventas, ¿no? En estas 7 campañas hemos tenido retos de todo tipo, pero por poner algún ejemplo, el primero fue Valora, que es una herramienta de BBVA que te ayuda a ver el valor de tu casa, la que tú quieras, o comprar o alquilar, y te da un montón de información sobre el barrio. El reto que teníamos era buscar gente que en el momento vital de cambiarse de hogar, de casa o querer vender la suya, pudiéramos localizar a esas personas, ¿no? El segundo reto que teníamos ya puro de encontrar clientes era pues encontrar clientes que no fueran de BBVA y que ahora mismo estuvieran en otros bancos, ¿no? Y eso era para intentar captar clientes y ver la parte más orientada a negocio, más la parte de performance. En esos 2 ejemplos, Telefónica siempre nos ha dado soluciones para poder alcanzar a nuestro público objetivo y ser relevantes con ellos y alcanzar los mejores objetivos. Y por eso las campañas han sido bastante exitosas. Hablar de resultados es complicado porque tenemos un montón de resultados, pero por poneros algunos ejemplos, desde arriba más del funnel hasta la conversión, hemos mejorado la interacción de nuestras piezas, lo que en marketing digital denominamos CTR, en un 54%, que es un porcentaje muy elevado. Esto nos ha llevado a mejorar también nuestro coste por visita a las personas que terminan aterrizando a nuestra página, en un 60%. Y por último, la parte de captación, pues hemos mejorado nuestros costes por lead, las personas que terminan de rellenar un formulario de alta de cuenta, en un 60%. Esas 3 cifras es un ejemplo, pero hemos ido mejorando todas las métricas en estos 7 campañas, trabajando muy de la mano del equipo, los 2 equipos. Dado todo este grupo de trabajo que tenemos y lo bien que están yendo las cosas, tenemos claro que vamos a seguir trabajando durante el 2021 juntos y espero que vivamos muchos más retos de negocio juntos y podamos llevarlos a cabo juntos.
Pues muchísimas.
Well, thank you very much, Cristina. We're very happy with this collaboration. Now, did you hear what you said? We're talking about cost per lead reduction of almost 60% while observing privacy of customers. This is a revolutionary technology, and it's just the very beginning of it. Okay, well, that brings my part to an end. We've seen all this innovation, that Telefónica has at its DNA, at the very core of Telefónica. We've seen at the beginning a response to the pandemic, then we saw the importance of programmable networks and a lot of use cases, a lot of functions that we'll have in the future. And finally, we've seen how we can do digital marketing while respecting privacy. So I'll leave you now with Irene to see how we bring in innovation taking place outside the company and how we implement it through open innovation. Irene, when you're ready.
David.
Well, thanks very much, David. Yeah, I'm going to take over from you, and I'm going to do that because I'm going to talk about open innovation. That's innovation where we're seeking innovation from outside in the world of startups and universities, because I have to acknowledge here to you today that we absolutely adore the entrepreneurial spirit out there. And you may not know, but we have been working with startups, learning with startups for the last 15 years. Let me quickly go back through our history and tell you about it. We started up our very first vehicle, which was Telefónica Ventures, and that was in 2006. And we did it as our own investment fund. We were seeking to invest in more mature tech startups that really matched up with our strategic idea in the business. You'll agree with me that innovation is not only found out there in the large hubs like Silicon Valley or Israel. So in 2011, we launched Wayra. You may not know this, but we were the very first telecom company to set up this network there that we were investing in these growing startups through Wayra. And now Wayra has become a whole ecosystem of entrepreneurial startups in different countries. I think one of the differential values in Wayra is that it can help startups to develop their businesses with Telefónica. And just a year after that, so we're now in 2012, we set up our investment in innovation funds. These are third-party funds, and that gave us access to key markets and to ecosystems and generating a very exciting startup deal flow. And then lastly, in 2014, we launched Open Future. Open Future, what was it? It was an ecosystem of regional incubators. We're now in more than 130 countries, and this is all about fostering local entrepreneurship. And we're doing it through a public-private partnership idea. I know it's a long story, but I think it's quite clear how committed we are to open innovation. You can see the figures. More than 500 startups active in our portfolio today, and about 140 of them are working with Telefónica, doing business with Telefónica. We've had more than 90 exits, and sometimes with some great multiples. And although you may have already heard this, I'll tell you about two recent startups in our portfolio in Wayra, iHack Labs and Govertis, the latest acquisitions. We're very, very proud of these acquisitions. Let's hope we get more and more. Why not say it? In total, we've invested more than 175 million euros in startups, and we've helped the startups to grow and to attract other investors too, because for every euro that we've invested, other investors, third parties, have put another 10 million in. As you can see, the strategy and our journey in open innovation is a journey of evolution. We've been talking about that transformation as we've gone through the event so far. But we don't conform to that. We want to do more. And how to do that? Well, I think the best way to do that is to invite onto the stage with me two experts and colleagues in Telefónica. Now, they are going to tell us their vision, how Telefónica really manages to hook up with the entrepreneurial and startup ecosystem. They'll tell about the projects they're working on too.
Bueno, ahora que...
Well, now we've got ourselves sitting comfortably and we've got the stools here. Let me ask Miguel Arias, who is the Global Entrepreneurship Director, and Gwen Goendo, Telefónica Director Innovation Ventures, to come and join me. Come and sit down with me. Well, it's a great pleasure to have both of you here with me. So why don't we break the ice with Miguel first of all. Tell us what Telefónica is looking for in the ecosystem, the entrepreneurship ecosystem.
I think the entrepreneur and the corporation have used different languages. And what we want to do is play that interface, like a translator, between the ecosystem and the Telefónica group. And I mean interface, it's a global interface because innovation happens everywhere. Silicon Valley, I think you agree with me as an example. And we need to be close to the entrepreneurs in Sao Paulo, in Munich, and Barcelona, Madrid, everywhere. And we have this network of hubs. We're connected to 7 Wayra hubs and 35 of Innovation Ventures, which are regional.
But Miguel, those hubs are important for us, aren't they? But why? Because they're spaces?
Well, yeah, I'm calling them hubs, not co-working space, because a hub is where things actually happen, where you exchange knowledge and experiences. So increasingly more, what we look is to get that technology and bring it outside. So we transform hubs into labs where we show IoT platforms, blockchain platforms, and in the future, and even cloud computing. And we also have activation programs where we develop specific programs to make sure that startups use our platforms and go to the market with our name. And then the idea is to get scalability here, make sure these companies grow with us and taking up to another level. Our claim is that we
I loved it when you said that this is all about an attitude. I think it is an attitude here in Telefónica, and I think we can certainly go out beyond those great reference points. What you said was really interesting. You said we were going to scale up startups. So, Gwenya, turning to you, what can you tell us about the help that we give to those startups to scale up? What are we doing exactly? And in Telefónica Innovation Ventures, what sort of startups are we looking for? Well, I think you yourself, Irene, mentioned this at the start. Telefónica Ventures was launched in 2006, and the aim was to invest in strategic startups. And since then, our vision and our mission hasn't changed at all. We're still looking for those companies that can help us to solve the key challenges of the telecoms industry and to build up new businesses using cutting-edge technology. And to do that, we work very closely with our business areas in Telefónica. We actually get support from them to help those startups and also to make sure that we can sponsor those investments so that there always is a work plan to work with these companies. What we want is to be able to integrate those technology in-house so that we can use them and at the same time to be able to distribute them to our customers. Well, a lot of this sounds great, doesn't it? But it's a tough path. It's hard to do. And to do that, we look for those companies that are a little more mature than others. We say in the investment jargon that they have a product market feed. These companies have that. And in money terms, then they tend to be as of Series A in investment terms or B or C. And with that, we think that working together with our business areas and working with the startups, we'll be able to help them to grow. And we will turn into strategic investors for them. Innovation, and I think you've all mentioned this before, is everywhere, isn't it? And we can't just look for it in one single place. So we invest in all sorts of companies in our footprint, also in Silicon Valley in Israel, or wherever those most innovative companies are. So that's the direct investment side of it. But here in Ventures, we also invest as limited partners in other investment funds. Now, those funds help us to back up and strengthen our presence in key ecosystems, and they help us to open our eyes to bring in more companies. In 2002, we started off the very first funds, the Amerigo funds, but just a few years back, we started to work in key areas, Silicon Valley, Israel, etc. So adding up all of this, the direct investment, the funds, the Wayra startups, I think we have a large fabric, a large network of companies working together with Telefónica. I think the figure you gave us before was, what was it, 140, I think you said? Yes.
Yes, 140. And we're very proud of the number. These are companies that I said are working with Telefónica. It means they have a commercial contract with us. It's not just a pilot or testing a concept. You spoke about family. And we can say that the companies are part of the Telefónica group. These are companies in which we are investing. And that gives us a right to play, to offer those products and services to third parties, customers in B2B or even B2C. But to get that pilot to become a commercial product and reach out to hundreds of thousands of customers, we need to go through 3 main barriers. And these are Well, the first one is people. The risk aversion that normally people have, a manager of a company might have to launch a product that is not fully tested or doesn't have the right scale. So we have to work with that. The second barrier is processes. How can we simplify processes so that startups are easier to go through procurement, legal, and all these corporate processes? And then we have a direct path for startups so they can work better with us. The third one is a technological barrier. How can we have open APIs so they can connect with us, integrate, and have a product that we can sell, bill, and scale it? So 3 barriers, and the most important one is to be an internal champion who is supporting us within the company so this project can be successful. And talking about success, we also celebrate great stories, and we have a few companies, startups, which are our champions, and companies that have grown the most or are currently growing fastest and have the greatest potential nowadays. We group them into what we call our Hall of Fame, and these are companies that jointly are working best with us. So we created a website, and you can see it in this event website, and you have the 3-dimensional environment where you can see experience of these entrepreneurs, how they're working with us, what are the challenges and the opportunities that they've found. So I think it's pretty cool, 360, and also have coming up the startup portfolio, and there's a QR code which you can probably see on the screen right now, so you can see the link, click on that link, and after the event, you can visit it.
Yeah, it's great. I've already browsed through it myself, and you're all going to like it. We sound a bit like plumbers sometimes, Miguel, with all of the what happens behind the scenes to make things work properly. It's a bit like the internal plumbing of a business. And that is something, of course, that people can't see because that means we've done it properly. They can't see it. You said something that was really important. You talked about that right to play. You said that we have to have an advantage there with the startups. So what does Telefónica give to the startups? What is our differential value? What makes them work with us? Well, I think you said it before, didn't you, yourself? We invest because we want to be strategic investors. We want to help these companies to grow. And to do that, the starting point is, of course, to find the alignment there with those companies in the strategic areas. So strategic for us in Telefónica, the very first one in telco, of course, is networks. That's our strategic area. There's a revolution out there, isn't there? Virtualization and, of course, artificial intelligence applied to networks. And there's a big opportunity to work with startups there without even thinking about all of the new services that will come out of 5G. That's another major area that we're concentrating on. Well, last year, Telefónica announced the setup of Telefónica Tech Ventures to focus on technical businesses, cloud, IoT, big data, and cyber. These are areas where there are lots and lots of startups, and we'd like to focus very much on those areas. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we announced a new vehicle that has been set up precisely for that reason, to focus on cyber. It's called, as I said, Telefónica Tech Ventures. It's powered by 11 Paths. And why is it called that? Because we're doing it in ventures and together with 11 Paths, which is our cyber company in Telefónica. So we're contributing the investment experience. We're working with companies as investors. And the 11 Paths put in everything that they know well how to do at the cyber side. And that means that they can do better screening of the companies, pick up on the right opportunities. But 11 Paths at the same time integrates the companies into their product catalogue. And just imagine the business can be generated in that way for the startups. So the vehicle was set up with 9 companies from Wayra and also from Telefónica Ventures. And let me mention a couple of them for you. Nozomi or 4IQ from Silicon Valley. And from Wayra, we have Smart Protections and Countercraft, flagship companies in the Spanish ecosystem. And I think we all should feel very proud about that. The idea for this new vehicle is that it should be able to support these new companies, but we should also be able to complement that portfolio with new investments. So wherever innovation is, we will go out there and find it. So when you're saying that this vehicle is an in-house vehicle, it started off with Telefónica Tech, didn't it? But are you open to outside investors? Yes, we're actually thinking about that too, because we believe that is a very exciting value proposition for outside investors, because to work with cyber experts, we've got a lot we can contribute there. I think it's a win-win proposition for everyone, for these potential new investors, for these startups working with us, and for 11path, which is, of course, able to actually add to its product catalogue, but mainly for our customers, because we will be able to offer those customers better solutions, more complete solutions. But, well, that's the news from our side, but I think I'm not the only one here with some news.
Well done, Kenya. Triple win for everyone. And as I was saying, innovation means that we have to evolve, especially now with such changes being brought upon us with the pandemic. There's digitalization happening everywhere, change in behavior. A lot of people are working remotely from home. And that has a set of implications, which means we have to adapt to reality. And startups, out of their nature, can adapt faster, move faster, and launch new products and services that precisely will help us with this new normal. And the company can lean on them to launch these new products and services for its customers. So it's a great opportunity we have now in Telefónica to bring a company closer to these companies that are remote, basically remote, that are disruptive, and that are also digital, but also focused on B2C. So today we're very proud of announcing the launching of Wayra X. And what better than to have the head of this department to talk about this, Andres. Hello, Andres. Hello, Kenya. Here we are in our Gran Via hub. Very excited to announce in this Innovation Day a new launch of Wayra. We're talking about Wayra X. As you well know, in the entrepreneurial world, companies are growing the fastest, and the most successful companies are those that are capable of solving a specific problem in a brilliant way, or putting it differently, in working out the X. I think that the most companies with the highest value in the market are those that, again, work out the X in a fastest way, the most complex X in a different, agile, and a disruptive manner. And that's precisely what Wayra X is after. Wayra X is a 100% digital hub to invest in globally. Companies that are pure digital, teams that are fully remote, but mainly companies that are focused on mass markets in solving problems that impact a lot of people. And in addition to the investment, we also want to help these entrepreneurs to give them more visibility in our phones, in our screens, our television, give them that visibility through living apps. Wayra X also has a lot to do with this moments we're living through. 10 years ago, Telefónica decided to launch Wayra and open the company to entrepreneurs to bring in talent, innovation to the group. But also with this time we're living through, in which the world is more and better connected, more than ever. I think in the past few months, the world was boosted digitization. So this is a moment to launch Wayra X. We're not specifically located anywhere. It's an X anywhere in the world. So right now I want to connect with London with Bruno and Moraes, country manager of Wayra UK, next to Udo, who is CEO of ChargeUp, one of the companies that we're testing for pre-installing in our mobiles. Good morning, hello.
As you know, I'm today with Hugo, the CEO and co-founder of ChargeUp. Hugo, can you tell us a little bit of what is ChargeUp?
So, it's great to be here today. Thank you so much. ChargeUp, it's a very simple concept. It was inspired when I ran out of battery when I was running around London and ended up having to buy a power bank in order to keep my phone going. And we've taken that model of taking a power bank from one location, dropping it off from somewhere else. You just pay for the time that you need. It's only £1 an hour to borrow one of our batteries. The BBC actually named us the Boris bike of phone charging. So we've been building this network for the last few years. Very pleased to say that we're now in 3,000 locations across the UK.
Thank you, Hugo. And what type of innovation do you bring to O2 customers in the UK?
So yeah, we've brought a lot of innovation to the O2 company, and Wayra as well has been helping us with this journey so far. We allow all customers in O2 to use 1 hour of free charge in our network every single day across the UK. And we're going to be rolling this out across Europe as well over the next few years.
And how does Wayra X help you scale your business?
So we were very pleased to be able to work with the Wayra team in order to get together a fantastic deal for all of the O2 customers. So firstly, they're now getting the 1 hour free charge in our entire network. But now, more importantly, we're now going to be pre-installed on Android phones that O2 ships over the next year, which is fantastic both for us, but also for all of the customers, allowing more people to access this free offer every single day.
Thank you, Bruno. Hugo.
Thank you very much, Bruno and Hugo. We're back in Madrid. We're with David. People, the first investment that we've done is in Wayra X. And with Luisa, they're going to tell us how we're investing.
Thanks, Andreas. Our premise for investment in Wayra X is focused on pure digital companies, unlike the premise for typical Wayra House, where we say fit first, because what we're looking for are companies that are focused on Telefónica strategic areas. In Wayra X, we're looking for companies that are aiming at mass markets, and a great example of that is People. David, how are you?
Hi, Luisa.
What does People do? Tell us.
Well, People is an app for trust. It's where users come and look for information or anything they need thanks to their friends or favorite influencers.
What's the value that you contribute to the users?
Well, the differentiating value here is the trust. When you need to find information about something, there's no better advice that you can get from your friends, your family, or your favorite influencers. And that's the value that we provide here.
And what value do you expect Wayra X to give you for your growth?
Well, in addition to the investment, People is currently undergoing international growth. I think Wayra X can help us there in access to the end user, which is and customer, which is part of the support we're getting from Telefónica and Wayra X. Thank you, David, Luisa, and back to Innovation Day.
Pues muchísimas.
Well, thank you very much to you, all of you, the team. It's wonderful to be able to be here. It's quite a luxury to be able to announce Wayra X here, and both Wayra X and Tech Ventures, I think, show us just how we want to do so much more in ventures. Thank you so much to both of you for sharing this slot with us. Well, as Miguel and Gwenya leave, let me tell you that if you're keen to learn more about all of this, then I encourage you to participate in 2 bracket sessions. The first one is 10 years of Wayra, what's next? We'll be talking about Wayra X2, and we'll be talking to the founder there and of one of the companies. And then Telefónica in the entrepreneurship system, the ecosystem, is a roundtable. But we'll be talking to business area startups and investors in that roundtable. So you're invited to both. Well, we've already said that innovation is reinvention, and this journey that we've been on and all of these projects show us this spirit that we want to reinvent ourselves. But there was an idea that's been floating around in our heads, and we can't get rid of it, is that if innovation is execution, implementation, how can we go one step further? How can we be more practical if we're going to bring in the best assets of the startups and link them up with our business? How can we be more agile in doing so? And how can we be more independent or stand alone in doing it? So we've set up a formula to do so. And it's a formula with the development of a capability that gives us that autonomy. And is to set up a fast-track team which can do fast prototyping as part of the Open Innovation Unit. The very first time we've done it. And heading that initiative, we have Marilo Vallecilla. She's here on the line, and she's going to tell us better than I can about what we're doing there. Hi, Irene. Tell us about Fast Track. What is it? Who is the team? Well, as you said, Fast Track is a prototyping unit in the Open Innovation. It's a very small, very agile team. We have people who are designers, people on the product side, and also technical people, so that we can do end-to-end prototyping. Our day-to-day work is essentially all about validating those prototypes and then transferring all of that know-how, the learning and the prototype itself, onto the business unit. The prototypes that are the more successful one turn into products. The business area does it, and they can scale them up. Tell us specifically what you're working on right now in Fast Track. Well, we've had just a short life. We've been running for a couple of months now, and different projects, really. We've been working on a big data applied to professional sport idea, and also intensively we're trying to take startups to our Telefónica channels to our POC channels, so we can validate them and unlock the value. The channel we focused on most of all at the beginning is TV, because it has a lot of value. It's not very accessible to them. It gives them a lot of visibility. An example of that collaboration is a prototype that we prepared with Fitcom Moves, which is a Wayra Peru startup, which is a fitness idea. We can take that into people's homes. So for that prototype, we were moving into production, and it's in all of the Movistar homes. We're very happy. They're very happy too with the outcome. It's a great time, I think, to stay at home and do some exercise. Definitely. Well, if startups are listening to us now, they might think and wonder, I mean, how can we talk to Telefónica? How can they discover us? How do they know we're doing this activity and this prototyping? Well, of course, we're working with the startups that we're already investing in. That's a good example I've shown you just now. But it's not essential. Any startup that has a good proposal that fits with the challenge that we're working on in that different area would be a candidate to participate in our project. Just recently in September, we launched an activation program for startups that were keen to actually take their projects to the telly. The we call it the Living app there. That's the activation program we've got. These 8 startups are already involved in that experience. And when they're ready, then it will go straight to Movistar Plus homes for 3 months free of charge. And then after that, well, depending on how popular they are, they could actually move forward. That's great. I think we have a breakout session, don't we, on this? Yes, you're right. This afternoon, there's a breakout session to talk a little more about the activation programs that I've been talking about, the startups as well as other channels, not just TV that we've opened up for startups. Well, we'll see you at the breakout sessions, Marila. I'm sure that a lot of the listeners will want to join you there. Thank you to you. Well, the formula to be more agile, to be more independent, standalone, I was saying that, wasn't I? Well, prototyping gives us some of those capabilities, but what better mirror to see ourselves in than the startups themselves to get that agility, that possibility for fast transformation? Well, today I'm very, very excited about being able to tell you about an initiative, to share this with you. It started up like that. It's called Wayra Builder. And with Wayra Builder, what we're doing is setting up startups. How are we doing that? Well, through patents, technology, even ideas that we have in-house in the company. The goal is to be able to find a way to track those ideas outside of Telefónica to speed up their go-to-market and their value proposition. What I like best about all of this story that I'm telling you, is it's not a project that's just in black and white on a piece of paper. It's already operating. It's up and running. It's a project that's starting to actually reap rewards. Let me talk about Dida, the very first Wayra Builder startup. And who better to tell us the story than the CEO of Dida? He'll tell us what they've done. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Irene. Thank you for inviting us for this super event. Just some brushstrokes on how this Dida works and what is it. Sometimes you may have wondered how many sales opportunities a company loses because you don't use the most appropriate channel to reach out to its customers. Imagine if you can sell your services B2C through WhatsApp. Dida is a technology that started with 11 paths, and the idea here is to develop conversation so that the privacy is fully guaranteed. At the onset of 2020, together with Telefónica Wayra Builder, Dida, the company, was set up to continue to develop the product and to market it. Look, just now on television, there is an advert of a company, a consumer loans company, that has our QR code. So what I'm going to do, very quickly, scan that QR code, and you can see it takes me straight to the WhatsApp with a preloaded message. Of course, can be configured by the company. So I'll send this message as such, and Dida starts with the first question. Well, how many funds do you need? Let's say 4,000 euro. And then Dida continues asking, well, how many installments do you want? I'll put 12 months. And now, final question. I have to make a photo of my ID, which I do now. and I send it off to Dieter. And given that Dieter has enough information to generate the loan, the consumer loan contract, with the sums I put, it takes me straight to a link, and there I can query and take a look at the contract itself. And of course, I have to introduce a PIN here that's sent to me, 9536 in this case. And then I can download the contract. It's here with me in my handset, in my mobile, and you can see, well, the amount, 12 months, all the information, because I've read it, took that straight from my ID. And I can go back to the conversation and said that I accept the terms. And then, so now we've closed the whole signing, and now someone manually has to verify my details. I just got a message that they've already verified my contract and my details, and Dieter has generated the digital signature. Now, as you can see, it's very straightforward to sign a contract with Dieter. To summarize, we improve the user experience when you buy services remotely. We optimize the cost of companies because we automate a lot of the stages. And thanks to the QR code and our technology, we can measure the ROI on investment. So that's all I wanted to share with you today with this demo. If you'd like, I'll give you a QR code that you can scan, and you can test Dieter. That's Dieter. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks very much, Michael. I don't think there's a better way of seeing a product than through a demo. So thank you for making it so simple, and congratulations, because I know you're already in the polite phase with some customers, and this is great news. In addition, you've also been awarded that Caixa award, haven't you? Congratulations. You'll get lots of opportunity to develop your business that way. I'm going to start to wrap up this open innovation section in our event today. We've been talking about our investment journey, and we've also been talking about new vehicles, Wayra X, Tech Ventures, and we've incorporated two new concepts. One is the fast prototyping, and the other one is the fact that we ourselves are entrepreneurs, because we're actually setting up startups with Wayra Builder with our own assets. And all of this work, this evolution, open innovation, core innovation, all of that is so necessary so that we can actually move forward towards that future that we want to get to see, to work out what that future in the short term or the long term will be, and what ecosystem will be the one we will have to coexist with in Telefónica. So without further ado, let's move forward to that future I'm talking about now. Hi again, David.
Well, here I'm back again.
And it's great to have you back here with me again on this stage. How about if we tell the audience about that future that we've been talking about just a few minutes ago?
Well, sure. Many times they ask us, where do we get all these ideas to invent the future?
Well, I'm going to use a sentence. It's a quote from Einstein, actually. I think it illustrates what we're going to be talking about now. And he said, Einstein, if I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on the solution, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask.
Efectivamente, todo lo que hemos visto hoy, tanto las...
Indeed, everything we've seen today, the startups and the projects that we work on, everything comes from just a few years ago. We asked ourselves some questions. We asked ourselves questions that intrigued us enough to decide to start working on these topics.
That means that running risks and exposing ourselves to new problems.
Yes, in Telefónica, we always ought to innovate in an ambitious manner, but in a responsible way toward these problems.
And to do that, I think it's important for us to try to make sure that innovation isn't just talking about technologies. It's not just about that. It's about also resolving the human side. And that links up a lot with our spirit in Telefónica. We want to build a more human world by connecting people.
Yes, when you work in innovation, what we do every day is try to imagine potential possible futures, this, that, the other, all is possible. The technology opens you up to so many possibilities, but our responsibility is that to imagine these futures, but rather also find the desirable ones, desirable for humanity. And that's not done just like that, by chance. It has to be done deliberately we want the desirable futures. And what we do is to have a multidisciplinary team, a team of people that they're not just technologists. We also have humanists. We also have experts in business and user experience, a group of people that make sure that our innovation is more responsible. So we've set up a video where they actually explain what the challenges we're facing and how we view a more responsible future. Let's take a look.
The popsicles in this image were made by a group of students at the National Taiwan University. After collecting water samples from over 100 different polluted sources across the country, they cast these in resin in an attempt to raise awareness of water pollution amongst their fellow citizens. They can, however, also be viewed as a very powerful analogy of the duality that's inherent in technologies like AI, biotech, VR, and 5G. On the surface, they appear to be full of promise and potential, yet when you look a little bit closer, you see that there's something lurking beneath the surface.
5G, realidad aumentada, inteligencia artificial, biotecnología, son tecnologías espectaculares, pero con cada ventaja que traen también tienen una desventaja.
La pregunta que tenemos que hacernos como innovadores es, ¿podemos continuar a innovar de manera creativa y original para satisfacer las necesidades de nuestros clientes? Pero podemos hacer esto también de manera responsable.
To date, we've always thought about innovation as a way of solving problems. But it seems like whenever technology solves a problem, a new one arises as a consequence. So maybe it's time to think about the role of innovation in the future as resolving the tensions that lie at the intersection of technology, people, and society. The first tension we repeatedly encounter is between freedom and exposure. Freedom meaning this is the ability to abdicate daily tasks and decisions and activities that we deem menial or repetitive or even difficult to technology to sort them out for us.
Hoy en día contamos con servicios muy buenos que nos mejoran la vida, que son gratuitos. Pero lo que no sabemos es lo que pasa en la trastienda. Las compañías rastrean cada comportamiento, cada actividad que hacemos online y crean perfiles muy detallados sobre nosotros.
Hoy en día existen modelos de negocio totalmente contrastados que utilizan la libertad que obtenemos a la hora de usar ciertas tecnologías para todo su provecho. Los beneficios que obtienen estas empresas simplemente por esa libertad que tenemos, esa facilidad, pues está claro que hoy en día están totalmente contrastados. Pero eso también implica que hay otras oportunidades de negocio muy interesantes que yo creo que en el futuro próximo veremos, como por ejemplo gente que se encargue de anonimizar ese perfil que tienen esas empresas de nosotros, ¿no?
Entonces, uno de los challenges que tenemos en los próximos años es que podemos continuar a trabajar a mejorar estos algoritmos para mejorar la calidad de la vida de las personas, pero es que podemos hacer esto limitando la exposición de las personas, exposición de las informaciones de las personas a estos algoritmos.
So in this context, personalization includes everything we read, see, hear, being perfectly suited to our real-time needs, tastes, and mood states.
Cuando esos motores de personalización me muestran algo, luego hay otras cosas que no veo, ¿no? Así los usuarios desarrollamos una visión de túnel y se crea estas burbujas de filtro. Y esas burbujas de filtro son el entorno perfecto para la desinformación.
La personalización que estamos viendo de la información que consumimos diariamente está haciendo que haya una gran polarización, sobre todo entre como dos grandes bandos, ¿no? Lo que veo yo en mi día a día, en mi burbuja, y esa realidad paralela que hay fuera de mi ventana, donde otra persona que piensa diferente que yo, tiene otros gustos que diferentes a los míos, está viviendo y piensa que esa es la verdad verdadera. Y hay gente y modelos de negocio que se están aprovechando de ellos, tanto los que generan contenidos falsos como los que intentan detectarlas y limpiarlas de las redes.
So how can we ensure our customers are able to navigate an abundant media landscape without also eroding an understanding of one another?
Aquí hay muchos problemas donde estamos trabajando. Claro, el primero es identificar esta misinformation o fake news, pero también hay el problema de cómo crear soluciones que sean escalables, soluciones que se pueden desplegar, dónde se pueden desplegar, de qué forma.
Finally, we're seeing a tension emerge between optimization and dehumanization. Optimization being about the age-old human pursuit, or quest, if you will, for improvement. People will increasingly hand themselves over to services that will instruct them on what to do and when in order to achieve a desired physical enhancement or mental extension. A radical version of this will include implants and ingestibles, DNA hacking, uploading actual memories into clouds.
Las cualidades humanas esenciales como la empatía, el cariño, el toque humano desaparecen cuando tiene que adaptarse a lo que un sistema informático es capaz de medir. Las máquinas ya están tomando decisiones que cambian nuestras vidas. Deciden quién va a salir de la cárcel, o quién va a estar invitado a una entrevista de trabajo, o quién recibe un tratamiento que le puede salvar la vida. Y estas decisiones pueden ser correctas a nivel analítico, pero en muchos casos pueden ser crueles y absolutamente inhumanos.
So how do we evolve to lead healthier and potentially even happier lives without losing the essence of what makes us human?
¿Cómo podemos asegurarnos que las decisiones realmente importantes que afectan a personas siguen siendo tomadas por humanos afectuosos y empáticos?
Our mission as innovators must entail tracking new technological possibilities, as our research team and engineers do, in tandem with anticipating the impact that they can have on our customers' real lives, on our cultures and societies at large. And this really means keeping our eyes and ears open on both fronts. So respecting the duality of technology, always seeking to understand how it can meet real human needs without provoking risks. And it also means asking new questions in pursuit of new opportunities. Starting with, how can we make the future of a tech-enabled world more human?
Pues estas son solo algunas de las...
Well, those are just some of the questions that we're asking to be able to think about that future. And with those questions, Daphne and I here to say goodbye. It's been a great pleasure to be here with all of you, to be able to share the day with David down this road, on this journey. But don't go away, we have a few last words for you.
And the breakout sessions. And after this presentation, we'll have those sessions where we can drill down more in some of those subjects that we're going to talk. Very interesting.
In that innovation is present in our whole history from the beginning to the end. And without further ado, let me give the floor again to Chema so he can close today.
Chema, y gracias.
Welcome, Chema. Thank you.
Irene.
Thank you, David. Irene, it's a pleasure, really. David and Irene, I've been almost working for them almost for 10 years. Irene in the CDO unit, where she was the head of creating Aura to shape it, to give it all the capabilities that it has today, and David from innovation with all the teams that are leading those platforms that have enabled us to develop these B2B business in the digital world that we have in cybersecurity, big data, or IoT. Anyways, I want to wrap it up by reminding you what I said earlier, that innovating is really difficult. We need to understand the present. We can do it by looking at the past. But being in the present is very difficult to work on the future. We'll have some success stories. We'll have flops and failures. The Dow Jones Index, by the way, gave 98 points rating to Telefónica out of 100. It's one of the highest scores that we have in innovation. Don't forget that the average for the telecom industry is 28 points. But Telefónica is more than just telecommunications. It's also technology changing how business is conducted in the digital world. And the future, we don't know what shape that will be. So we encourage you to join us again in 2021 in the Innovation Day. And on the present day of the 2021, we can understand it by all the success stories we have and also all the failures that we'll have in the next 12 months. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. And don't miss those breakout sessions that we're going to have with the entrepreneurs, innovation, and see you next time. Goodbye.